क्रीडा मनुजबालकः क्रीडा मनुजबालकः यद्येवं तर्हि व्यादेहि इत्युक्तः स भगवान् हरिः व्यादत्ताव्याहतैश्वर्यः क्रीडा मनुजबालकः यद्येवं तर्हि व्यादेहि इत्युक्तः स भगवान् हरिः व्यादत्ताव्याहतैश्वर्या क्रीडा मनुजबालकः Yadi, if, evam, it is so, tarhi, then, vyadehi, open your mouth wide. I want to see. Iti uktaha, in this way, ordered by Mother Yashoda. Saha, he, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Harihi, the Supreme Lord, Vyadatta, opened his mouth. Avyahata Aishwaryaha, without minimizing any potencies of absolute opulence. Aishwaryasya samagrasya. Krida, pastimes. Manuja balakaha, exactly like the child of a human being. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaicharana Arvinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Mother Yashoda challenged Krishna, if you have not eaten earth, then open your mouth wide. When challenged by his mother in this way, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, to exhibit pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's parental affection, his opulence was automatically displayed, for Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time. Can I repeat the translation? Mother Yashoda challenged Krishna, if you have not eaten earth, then open your mouth wide. When challenged by his mother, in this way, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, to exhibit pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's parental affection. His opulence was automatically displayed. For Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time. Purport. Without disturbing the ecstasy of his mother's affection, Krishna opened his mouth and displayed his own natural opulences. When a person is given varieties of food, there may be 101 varieties. But if one likes ordinary shaka, spinach, but if one likes ordinary shaka, spinach, he prefers to eat that. Similarly, although Krishna was full of opulences, now, by the order of Mother Yashoda, he opened wide his mouth like a human child and did not neglect the transcendental humor of maternal affection. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 8, Text 36 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we see a very beautiful exchange between Mother Yashoda and Lord Krishna. They've got into a tussle, a kind of fight between the transcendental mother and the transcendental son. And what is the fight? What is the tussle? That Mother Yashoda has challenged Krishna. You are saying you've not eaten earth? Because everybody is complaining today that you've eaten earth, you've eaten mud. So Krishna might have defended by saying, no, they are all telling lies. So Mother Yashoda, even before Krishna could respond, foreseeing and reading Krishna's mind, Krishna's mindset, how Krishna will respond. Mind reading is not a new technique. It's all known to the devotees of the Lord. So Mother Yashoda could read the mind of Krishna, what he is going to defend. So he is going to take the support of Balaram, she knew. Therefore, she already included in her statement when she made a complaint and lodged a complaint against Krishna, that I have heard, I have received a complaint from all your friends that you have eaten earth. And even Balarama has made this complaint about you. So she has already defended her statement also before Krishna could defend. Because otherwise objection overruled will come, In the court of law, you put one statement, one lawyer, the other lawyer will put one more statement. That will show objection overruled. So Mother Yashoda could conceive all these things. So she said, no. So thinking that he would take support of his elder brother Balaram, she added him also party to the case, we say. So already she added, and therefore she said, including your elder brother Balaram, even he has lodged a complaint against you today. So today there is no possibility of escape, my sweet son. So like that. That was discussed 2 verses back in text 34. Then last verse, Krishna replied, no mother? But he said, dear mother, not mother. So you have to put a little, you have to please the mother. Satisfy the mother. So he says, my dear mother, I have never eaten dirt. All my friends are complaining against me are liars. If you think they are being truthful, you can directly look into my mouth and examine it. Sometimes, out of defense, we'll make some statement, but you think that that person will not really verify it. So, hoping that, Krishna said, okay, look into my mouth. Which mother is going to cross check as though he's an opponent or a neighbor's son or some businessman? Why will you verify your own son's statement as though you doubt him? So Krishna might have thought, but it came as a challenge and surprise for Krishna. Mother Yashoda challenged, oh, really? If you have not eaten earth, open your mouth wide. Okay, prove yourself. Let us see. So Shukadeva Goswami used the word, when challenged by his mother in this way, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, to exhibit the pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth. So Krishna also is prepared for the challenge. So Krishna also is not going to just like we say, blackout or mind becoming blank. For Krishna, it doesn't happen. Oh, what is this challenge? I didn't expect this. So immediately Krishna opened his mouth. And although the Supreme Lord Krishna was full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's paternal affection. His opulence was automatically displayed. For Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time. So Krishna did not want to disturb the Vatsalya Bhava being exchanged between himself and his mother, who is actually a pure devotee of the Lord. So he continued acting like a human child and very innocently, naturally, okay, mother will open the mouth, open the mouth, that's all. But after that, what happened is a mystery. We'll see the next verse. So how verse by verse, it's like scene by scene, how the surprise, there's always a surprise element in Krishna's pastimes. Always a surprise element. Just like in cinema, they say that if there is always a surprise element and unpredictability, what's going to happen next? If you can't think, if you can't conceive, if you can't predict, then it becomes interesting. Ordinary fellow in this world can think so much. How much Krishna, the master of all cinema, the master of all drama, which is actually one of the meanings technically called the Leela. How much Krishna can do to the perfectional level. And how much Krishna's Yogamaya, who is the script writer, trained by Krishna, how much experts he will be, you can just imagine. It will be of a transcendental quality, transcendental standard. So Krishna, not to disturb the Vatsalya Rasa, he just behaved like an innocent child, and being challenged by his mother, he just opened his mouth. But all the opulences of the Lord is always present with him. That's what Shukadeva Goswami is saying. And he just given a hint in this verse. Next verse will clarify what is this opulence being spoken about. Let's keep that as a surprise for next class. Surprises should not be broken is a principle. So therefore we should not discuss the next verse now. Wait till the next episode. Okay, now a very important point about Krishna's personality. Let us try to understand. One of the important features of the Supreme Lord, one of the most misunderstood aspect or feature of the Supreme Lord, let us understand. Because if you can crack this, then you can get into Krishna consciousness. Just let me say, you crack the UPSC exam, it's an entry to IAS, becoming IXS, either IPS or IRS or IAS or whatever. So if you can crack this, then you can enter into the mystery of Krishna, Krishna's Leela, Krishna's activities, Krishna's nature, everything. So what is that? most contradictory or misunderstood or controversial feature of Krishna. Many are there. Does Krishna tell lie or does not tell lie? Is Krishna a thief or not a thief? Is Krishna a human being or not a human being? Is he good or bad? Is he violent or not violent? Is he propagating dharma or propagating adharma? Lot of confusions are there about, particularly about Krishna. You can see lot of contradictions in Krishna basically. Lot of contradictions. So people get confused. They are not able to exactly understand this personality Krishna, particularly this personality Krishna. That's why Vedas say it is not easy to come to the point of Krishna. The most difficult thing to understand in the entire spectrum of Vedic knowledge is not the Upanishad, not the impersonal explanations given in the Upanishads. It's actually the personality of Krishna is the most difficult to understand. Most difficult in the superlative degree. It is a fact. Shukadeva Goswami, I think the Sutta Goswami, in the very first canto of Bhagavatam, the very beginning, he says, among the many incarnations of the Supreme Lord, this incarnation, Krishna and Balaram, or the human-like forms of the Lord, is the most difficult to understand among all the incarnations. Even Varaha is also difficult to understand. Matsya, Kurma is not very difficult to understand. But Krishna is even more bewildering and most difficult to understand. The pastimes of Krishna depicted in the garb of a human being is most difficult to understand. That is why Krishna says in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. Unless you know my personality, my features, my qualities, my nature, my thoughts, my actions, my decisions, my personality, in truth, you cannot conquer over birth and death. It is not a medical process or a physical process to conquer death, which most people misunderstand. Conquering over birth and death is not a physical process. It is a transcendental process. And what is the transcendental process? To understand the nature of Krishna in truth, and Krishna's Leela and Krishna's activities in truth. If you understand that, you crack it. Okay. So what is preventing us from understanding the Supreme Lord? That is discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains all of these points. So let us begin from the start. What is the starting point? That Krishna explains in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Text 27. Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. This is a key verse. And we have to memorize this verse. First, begin with memorizing. After that, start thinking about it. Then start contemplating on it. Then start reflecting on it. Then try to figure out how to apply it in your life. And then become comfortable with that application. And then realize this much is there to do before even attempting to understand Krishna. We're not even begun. Starting trouble. In our case, understanding of Krishna is a non-starter. And people think they know Krishna. So much so they can even pass comments on Krishna. conclusions on Krishna. How foolish it must be. So Krishna is saying here, Icha Dvesha Sama Utthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. Sarge. We have taken birth grossly from the mother's womb. But you know what? What our birth indicates? We have taken birth in duality, is what Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita. Taken birth in duality. Our birth is not mother's womb. Okay, that is for a surface level understanding. Our birth is actually in duality. Dvandva. And moha, illusion. See our glories of our birth. And there is celebration for that. That's why Pakka is a conditioned soul. How do you know if you are a conditioned soul or not? Dvandva and moha. You've taken birth and you have a celebration on that. So no, it's totally in Maya. Clean sweep by Maya. It's called clean sweep, it is called. So we have taken birth in duality and in illusion. So Prabhupada translates, O Skian of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe. These two words indicate very interesting meaning. Skian means hero. Arjuna is not in illusion. Arjuna is not in duality. That is, O Skian of Bharata, you are a hero. What do you mean by hero? Hero means one who is not defeated, conquered by, subjected to. What? Icha, Dvesha, Samutta, Dvandva Moha. Arjuna is not subject to. Therefore, he is the true hero who is conquered over, not subject to, not under the influence of Dvandva and Moha, duality and illusion. But as far as the second thing, that's why Krishna is saying, addressing Arjuna, the second term, O conqueror of the foe. One is Bharata, Dvandva Mohena Bharata. Parantapa, another word. Bharata and Parantapa, two words Krishna has used in addressing Arjuna. He didn't say, O Arjuna. He said, O Bharata and O Parantapa. Parantapa means the conqueror of the foe. What is the foe? Foe means enemy. Who is the enemy here? The enemy is Dvandva and Moha. See how Krishna begins, how beautifully Krishna explains all these things. So Dvandva Mohena Bharata. Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. So, O Skian of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, with exception to Arjuna. Therefore, Krishna has already addressed Arjuna and clarified Arjuna's position as Bharata and Parantapa. See how finely we have to observe these things. So, all living entities are born into delusion. Sarge, born. Sarge, creation. So, are born into delusion. Bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. So, what is the duality? The duality is Icha and Dvesha. Desire and hate. Constantly we are immersed, soaked in this duality of desire and hatred. And this is the illusion we are presently absorbed in, subjected to. So under this condition, what is the hope to understand the Supreme Lord? And forget understanding his Leela, which is very personal. Very personal. So we have no entry. So Prabhupada explained the purport very nicely. Very interesting opening in the purport. Prabhupada says, the real constitutional position of the living entity is that of subordination to the Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. Why Prabhupada is using the word pure knowledge here? What is the link? Because the ignorance is illusion. We are subject to desire and hatred. Material desires and hatred. Totally opposite nature of the absolute truth of the Supreme Lord. Opposite nature. And that's not our constitutional position. So this desire and hatred, an illusion, is making us think we are the Lord. While actually our constitutional position is we are subordinate to the Supreme Lord. That's our constitution. When one is deluded means misled, cheated. When one is misled, deluded into separation from this pure knowledge that you are subordinate to the Supreme Lord, he becomes controlled by the illusory energy. So when do you come under the influence of illusion? See how scientifically it is being analyzed. How Prabhupada explains so scientifically. It's all techniques, because unless you know the science, you cannot get out. Just like if there's a problem in a vehicle, unless you know its mechanics, you really can't set it right. So, why are we stuck in illusion? Why are we stuck why have we come under the influence of Maya? Reasoning is done. When one is deluded, misled into separation from this pure knowledge that I am subordinate to the Supreme Lord Krishna, at that time the illusory energy comes into play and captures us, keeps us under her control. When you come under illusion, those are the candidates who cannot understand Krishna. So who is it who cannot understand Krishna? Those who are in illusion, moha. They cannot understand Krishna. So if you're out of illusion, you can understand Krishna. So perfect questions, perfect answers. Okay, now looks too philosophical, right? How do you know you're in illusion? Let's go practical. How do you know you're in illusion or Maya? Suppose, hey, you are in Maya. Hey, Prabhu, I'm not in Maya. What you are saying? Then, Prabhu, what are you in, Prabhu? That also I don't know. So, if you're not in Maya, there are only two possibilities. You are in Krishna consciousness. But symptoms will show up. You can't say no. So, how do you identify a person in illusion? That is also answered in this verse. The illusory energy is manifested in the duality of desire and hate. This is all proper explained in the purport so nicely. We just read off and finish Bhagavad Gita. Over. So, how is the illusory energy manifest grossly, even for a layman? If you want to make a layman understand, okay, devotees, we can make them understand very easily. Layman you meet, common man you meet, how do you say, hey, you are in Maya? Devotees, at least they may accept, yes, Prabhu, I'm in Maya, Prabhu. Tell me something, bro. How do you make a normal man understand he's in Maya? If he's too much affected by the duality of desire and hate, he's in Maya. He's in illusion. So, therefore, who are the proper candidates for understanding the Supreme Lord? That is also explained. Actually, the proper candidates are the pure devotees of the Lord, who are the only eligible candidates to understand the Supreme Lord in truth. And they can explain the Supreme Lord in truth. Because they have understood the Supreme Lord in truth. They have also realized the Supreme Lord in truth. Therefore, they can present the Supreme Lord in truth. And we can understand the Supreme Lord in truth. So what is the primary eligibility? The primary eligibility is, Prabhupada says, the pure devotees who are not deluded or contaminated by desire and hate can understand the Supreme Lord, who appears by his internal potency. But those who are affected by duality, they cannot understand however they try, how much ever they try. There are many simple examples of what is duality. This is something we have to know very, very clearly, because everything becomes philosophy otherwise. Philosophy is actually for intelligent people. But anyway, Krishna gives opportunity that everybody can become intelligent. That is the open offer of Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. But still, Krishna is also so expert teacher he also presents in such a way that even a common man can understand. And especially Acharyas play a primary role in this regard. What Krishna explains, the Acharya comes in between us and Krishna, explains it in a manner which even a layman can understand. So this is one of the duties or roles of an Acharya, where he is able to explain the most difficult teachings in the most simple way possible. That even a common man, a layman who does not know anything about the subject also, the Acharya can make him understand. And even the most difficult subject, as difficult as the subject of Krishna, which I began by telling, the most difficult subject in all the Vedic literature is actually the personality of Krishna. His nature, his leelas, his activities, everything about Krishna. So the Acharya is explaining in such a simple way, even a common man can understand and appreciate. That is why there is a need for an Acharya. Because somebody may say, Krishna has already spoken. Why there is a need for an Acharya, another Guru? Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. Krishna is already Guru. So why do you require another Guru then? Because to make you understand, as a common man. So coming back to the discussion, so what are these dualities? Okay, so Krishna gave a hint there. Ichcha Dvesha is a duality. Desire and hatred is a duality. Then further examples, Prabhupada explains. Honor and dishonor. Misery and happiness. Man, woman, good, bad, pleasure, pain. These are all dualities. And the person starts thinking, this is my wife, this is my house. This is about illusion. What is illusion? Dualities we understood now. What is duality? Honor, dishonor, misery, happiness, man, woman, husband, wife, good, bad, day, night, pleasure, pain, victory, defeat, profit, loss. This is duality. So what is illusion? We understood, okay, if we are in illusion, we can understand Krishna. What is illusion? What is the state of illusion? How do you know you are in Maya? Very pinpointed. Aham mameti. This is described in Bhagavatam also. So Prabhupada explains that in simple words. This is my wife. This is my house. I am the master of this house, owner of this house. I am the husband of this wife, the father of so-and-so son. This is called illusion. Okay? How it can be illusion? Yes, because you're not the father, you're not the husband, you're not the proprietor. These are all discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Where it is discussed? You read. Krishna says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I'm the proprietor of everything. And you say, no, I'm the proprietor of this house. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Krishna is saying, I am the supreme ruler, supreme authority in all the universes, in all the planets. You are saying, I am the prime minister, I am the president. Krishna is saying, I am the father. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavanti Aha. Whichever species appears, the spirit soul taking the form of a particular body, whichever body he appears, Krishna is saying, I am the seed-giving father. Pitaham asya jagataha. I am the father of every living being. Nothing to do with geographical boundaries. We don't know. I am thinking I am the father. And Krishna is the supreme husband of everyone. Supreme husband of everyone. But I think I am the husband of this woman. So like that, so many illusions we are in. Then, of course, one may think, then what is the Then how do you understand the present husband, present wife, present master, present son? That is only role play, temporary roles, not permanent. It is not true, it is true. In truth, there are two aspects which Krishna explains in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. One is temporary, one is permanent. And those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge, they are interested in eternal truth, which is called absolute truth technically. Not interested in relative truth, which is called temporary truth. Temporary truth is relative truth. Eternal truth is absolute truth. These are all definitions. Just like, you have a dictionary, you have to understand all these definitions, right? Then you start reading the book. Otherwise, you will not understand anything. So people don't know the definitions of the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Gita language. So therefore, they don't seem to understand whatever is written in Bhagavad Gita. But they will read Bhagavad Gita. So it's very important to understand all these things. So Krishna has given you a role to play. But it's a temporary role. You're not the eternal husband, life after life. Nor you're the eternal son of the eternal father, life after life, for eternity. Nor you're the eternal proprietor of even a house. Forget the universe and universes. So these things have to be very clearly understood. So that is the illusion and there's a duality we're talking about. There are many more things. Maybe some other time we'll discuss. Prabhupada brings in many other interesting points elsewhere. So, we see contradictions in the Supreme Lord's apparent contradiction, Supreme Lord's behavior. This is level 1 understanding. Level 2 understanding is there, we will discuss some other time. Level 1 understanding is there are contradictions in the Supreme Lord. But only in the Supreme Lord it can be perfectly reconciled. Therefore, interesting to note, in context of the personality of Krishna, contradictions are not contradictions, they are actually introduction. Introduction to the personality called Krishna. Similarly, dualities. See, Krishna is afraid, Krishna cries. We'll see Damodar Leela shortly coming up also. Here also Krishna expressed fear. Earlier verses it was discussed. Duality, fear, fearlessness, all duality. See, fearless is also duality. Krishna is playing the role of a son, accepting his mother as Yashoda as his mother. See, mother, son again, father, son, duality. Actually, dualities are not dualities, but realities in the personality of Krishna. So this has to be understood. So contradictions are not contradiction, but the introduction to the personality of Krishna. Dualities in Krishna Leela are not dualities of this material nature, material quality, material world. They are realities in the spiritual world of a spiritual quality and nature. So what we have to understand here is what is called as vocabulary. In our vocabulary, these things doesn't exist. Our entire vocabulary is filled with dualities and contradictions in the head. We have taken birth, that's what Krishna is saying. No? And true to our birth, education system also is nicely planned like that. True to our nature. They did a good job. True to our nature. Our entire system of education is simply filled with dualism, dualities, and contradictions. And stuck with logics. Our knowledge is limited. Our experience is limited. We want to understand the unlimited and explore the unlimited, which is Krishna, the Supreme Lord. See our situation. So, if in our vocabulary these things doesn't exist, how can you understand Krishna? This much sense at least one must have. Just like if you want to construct a building. Suppose skyscraper building. Let's take the example of skyscraper building. Skyscraper building means multi-story building. It's a 50-story, 100-story building. If you want to construct. Suppose you approach an engineer, a basic engineer. Just be a basic engineer. He'll say, sir, it is simply not possible, sir. What are you talking, sir? You're saying 100-story? Where it is possible, sir? Because his only knowledge is ground plus 1, ground plus 2. That's all. If you say 100 floor, you are adding 0. What is this, sir? How it is possible? Not possible. So, because in his knowledge and understanding and exposure, how to make a foundation for 100-story building is not there in his education. So he cannot comprehend. He'll say, oh, simply not possible. He'll say, sir, agala, sir. Just maximum I can try 3 floors, sir. Maybe Abba we say in Kannada. 5 floors, try Martini. We will try. After that, he said, sir, simply don't waste your time, sir. Not possible, sir. He'll reject it. And he'll convince you also, please don't attempt. Please do not attempt. You see? See the illusion. But there are people who are building skyscrapers, actually. You don't have access. That's all. You have not met them who build skyscrapers. And their profession only is building only skyscrapers. Ground and first floor doesn't exist in their portfolio only. In the resume, it doesn't exist only. Their resume begins with 100-story plus only. I have met one person like that in Mangalore, near Mangalore. His book we used to read in civil engineering, Structures. I was happy to meet my teacher also, my professor. He's not my professor, but then he wrote that about structures. That book I was reading in civil engineering. Okay, this is example 1. Okay, now example 2. So we talked about approaching an engineer, but let's take another example. Even more strange example. Suppose you approach a person who is nowhere connected with the subject, called engineering. Maybe let's take a lawyer. Take a lawyer. You approach a lawyer about skyscraper construction. Forget skyscraper. Even ground plus 1, even ground floor also, he will not be able to give you advice. Because in his vocabulary, it doesn't exist. He does not know anything about construction, anything about civil engineering. You say, Prabhu, he is a top lawyer, he is a practicing advocate in the Supreme Court, Prabhu. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗೃತಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. Talk carefully, Prabhu. It's nothing to do with talking with care. This man may be a top lawyer in Supreme Court, but as far as construction is concerned, foundation is concerned, is a big zero. He does not know anything. And then you approach him, in his vocabulary it's not there. So why I'm trying to say this is similarly, in our case, the misfortune is, we try to understand the Supreme Absolute Truth Krishna from persons who does not have any vocabulary about Krishna or Krishna consciousness. This is the point I'm coming to. So therefore, whatever Krishna does, for us it all looks to be contradictory or confusing, or somehow it's not very comfortable for us. How can Krishna do all these things? Like last Leela we discussed Krishna, passed stool and urine also. All these kind of things. So complex to understand this personality. Because you don't know how to understand this personality, Krishna. Our only vocabulary is duality and illusion. This is our credit. Our credit. Just like as I am MA, PhD. What is our credit? Duality and illusion. This is my credit. And you want to understand Krishna. How is it possible? Not possible. So, we should not subject the Supreme Lord to your analysis, to your judgment, to our analysis, to our judgment. No. He is beyond judgment, beyond our judgment. He is not subject to our judgment and our analysis. Tiny jivas, subject to illusion and duality. Oh, Krishna shouldn't have done that, should have done like this. Just like we advise, no? Advice is free. We keep advising. Krishna also will advise. Ala hang ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ Krishna. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. So we'll start advising God also. Then you think you'll not advise others, someday devotees become disturbed. Prabhu, sumne advice korta irtare Prabhu. Array, people are advising Krishna also. Krishna should have done like this, should have done like that, not like this, not like that. That's our position. So we are seeing everything through the prism of duality and illusion. Can never understand Krishna. That is why, unless you get out of this, it is not possible to understand Krishna. Now, another interesting point. How to reconcile. So how can dualities and contradictions exist in Krishna or the absolute truth? It's not possible. Because when Krishna is saying Bhagavad Gita, all through the Gita, Krishna is saying, because Bhagavad Gita is instruction for the jivas. So Krishna is repeatedly telling many places, just two references, quick reference. Krishna is saying, Samadukka Sukam Dhiram, so Amritatvaya Kalpate. One place Krishna said that. Yam hina vyatantete purusham purusharshaba. Krishna said that the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So Krishna is actually saying, if you want to become a liberated soul, free from the influence of the duality, then you have to come to a state wherein you will not be disturbed by happiness and distress and be steady in both. So Krishna is advising us to become steady, free from duality, influence of duality. How can Krishna himself be subject to duality? Another reference. Krishna is saying in that famous verse, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Satvastu Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So Krishna is saying that you have to transcend the three modes of material nature. Be free from all dualities and free from all anxieties for gain and safety. Again, duality. Dualities and free from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self or Atma or in the spiritual platform. Again, Krishna is saying, be free from duality, free from anxieties of gain and safety. See? So when Krishna is advising, if you have to come to transcendental platform of liberation, you have to be free from duality. Then how Krishna himself can be subject to duality? So we have to think about it. So the conclusion is, only if we become free from illusion and duality and a contradictory mindset which we have got, then only we can understand or even begin to understand the Supreme Lord. This also Krishna has made this point. If you're not prepared for it, just forget about me. Krishna has made this point also. Again, in the 7th chapter, text 28, Krishna has said, Te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Unless you become free from duality, you cannot engage in my seva. Or you will not be steady in my seva. You will be oscillating. Why? Because he is subject to duality. Subject to disturbances. What are the disturbances? Because the mind has become the boss now. Good mood, bad mood, I feel nice, I don't feel nice, I feel like doing, I don't feel like doing. These are all the way mind is dictating. And we are acting based on the influences of the mind, dictations of the mind. So it is difficult to be steady in Krishna consciousness then. That's why Krishna is saying, Te dvandva moha nirmukta. Dvandva moha nirmukta. Here also again Krishna said, Dvandva moha, both nirmukta, you should be free from. Then you can be steady in my seva. So, therefore, Krishna is a complete personality and free from the material contradictions and material dualities. But there are contradictions in the Supreme Lord. That's how it makes him complete. This is part 2. We will discuss some other time. There are contradictions in the Supreme Lord, and it must be It is again one of the features of the absolute truth. If contradiction is not there, he cannot be the absolute truth. But if contradictions are there, he cannot be absolute truth. So it is both way. Achintya Beda Veda Tattva. So what is that other part? That we will discuss some other time. Because Upanishad says that the Lord is not incomplete, he is complete. He is not an incomplete personality. Everything is present in him in all perfectness and in all congruency, in all harmony. Even if there are contradictions, in all harmony, they are present in Krishna. How it is possible? That is why he is the absolute truth. Only Krishna can be the absolute truth, not anybody else. Because even contradictions can live in harmony in Krishna. Krishna can be fearful, Krishna can also be fearless. Can't exist in a personality. Either you are a fearful personality or you're a fearless personality. Both can't be. In Krishna it can be present. Krishna can be a liar, Krishna can be most truthful. It can't be new. It can be only in Krishna. Krishna can be a cheat, Krishna can be the most moral person, dependable person, reliable person. How it is possible? Either you're a cheater or not a cheater. Either you are reliable or not reliable. How can it be that you're reliable and not reliable, cheater and not a cheater? It can be present in Krishna. That is why he is the only absolute truth. The last point is how it can be. How do you understand? Prabhupada has given one line for this, to understand this. Because in the absolute truth called Krishna, even though these contradictions are there, the effect is good. This is the analysis and conclusion. The effect is good, not bad. In contradictions, the effect is bad. But in Krishna's contradictions or in his personality, there is no badness, only goodness. Everything, because God is all good. He is absolutely good. Absolute good. In absolute good, there can be material good and material badness. But it is of absolute quality. Therefore, it is absolute good. In Krishna's lying, it gives joy to the gopis. But in you lying doesn't give joy to others. It doesn't give joy even to the police people. How it will give joy to the common man? In your killing, it gives joy neither to yourself, nor to the person whom you killed, nor to the police. But in Krishna's so-called killing of Kamsa and other demons, it is simply transcendental joy. For Krishna, it is sport. And for Gopas, it is, oh, my friend has done something great. Wow, Haribol, good job. Murdering, killing, good job. So, so it can only be perfectly reconciled only in the personality of Krishna. Because the effect is all good. Even the persons who are apparently killed by Krishna achieve liberation. Achieve liberation, freedom from all karmas. So God is all good, absolute good. So in this way we understand, try to understand the personality of Krishna, free from, you are thinking Krishna is full of dualism and duality and contradiction. It is you. Manyate Atmavan Jagat. That's why the Vedas have made a statement. Manyate Atmavan. You are looking the world as, you think the world is as you are. That is the problem. Because I am a personality of duality, personality of illusion, I think Krishna is a personality of illusion and is a personality of duality. You see how we project it on somebody else while it is actually me. So we have to be very careful and understand these leelas from these perspectives. Stop here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.